With fall now in full swing, that means two things for sure. Halloween is creeping up, and Salem is about to have a crap ton of people roaming the streets. With that in mind, I thought I'd do a little people watching during the busiest time of year in the Witch City, October. But first, I should address the moral issue I have of being conflicted when it comes to the perception that by endorsing the more lighthearted and quirky aspects of Salem's connection to witchcraft, it then becomes a trivialization of the incidents of 1692, in which innocent people were executed. It's a point I really can't argue with, and a valid one at that. If it were one of my family members that died up on Gallows Hill, I would resent a lot of the aspects of Salem's reinvention as a tourist destination. It's a slippery slope when trying to figure out if morally any of this makes sense. While intellectually I agree with the exploitive aspect, I'm just as guilty as anyone for enjoying walking around the crowds and doing some of the best people watching that New England has to offer. And people watching I did, walking down the old cobblestone streets, passing by Frankenstein and bumping into Edward Scissorhands at a comic book shop, as well as old and familiar faces from my childhood. Salem runs the full spectrum of all things Halloween, as well as random occurrences like a skeleton playing the saxophone, or Spider-Man up on a pole working the crowd for tips. But my favorite costumes came from a group of 4 people or so that, well, they took it to another level that was bordering on a wonderful piece of performance art that really caught me off guard. Because usually you have to pay to see something this awesome. When I hit the end of Essex Street, this crew turned the corner at the same time, creating an atmosphere in their wake that seemed to shift the whole dynamic of everyone in the crowd. Their somber expressions and demeanors never let up, and it was a fantastic time watching people react to them once the initial shock wore off for seeing them yourselves. It was a pretty over-the-top demonstration of what Salem has to offer this time of year, and like any fine piece of art, it inspired discussion and reaction, which is exactly what I signed up for. It's really tough for anywhere else to match the overwhelming sense of Halloween spirit that echoes through the cobblestone streets of Salem during October. And it's a really interesting experience to watch such a compact city try and negotiate the task of accommodating the wealth of tourists the town infamy helps to provide. It's a balancing act of morality and commerce that plays out impressively over a 1-month period where the masses gather to celebrate the Halloween season. Moral ambiguity aside, I think the holiday season at least helps broaden the platform of Salem's true history in terms of educating people. In that regard, it justifies itself enough for me to enjoy myself, and hope that people can separate themselves enough from the two. So come on down, dress up, enjoy yourself, and check out some decorated houses along the way. And oh, happy Halloween.